Hi everyone, welcome once again to Grammar for Everybody. Today we will develop a quick review of an easy topic, the present tense. Before moving to the explanation, we need to know that the English language is divided into three main tenses. They are the present, the past, and the future. Each of them is divided into simple, progressive, and perfective forms. In this video, we will only cover the forms of the present tense. We will start with the explanation of the simple present. To do this, we will use a diagram to help you understand it better. As we can see in the diagram, we made the mark starting in the past, moving to now, and ending in the future. This happens because the simple present expresses situations that exist always. That means that they existed in the past, they exist now, and they will probably exist in the future. The simple present is also used to express constant, repeated, or habitual actions or conditions. Let's see an example in context. It always snows in Alaska. We know that in Alaska it snows all the time. So we can infer that it snowed last year, it snows right now, and it will snow for the rest of this year. Some words that are commonly used with the simple present to express habits or repeated actions are always, sometimes, usually, and never. These words help us to show that we do things repeatedly. Let's check these sentences. The team always plans a strategy to win. My dog usually barks. They never lose a match. Remember that to form the simple present, we add s or es to the verbs. In the case of the verbs that end in letter y, we change it for ies. Check these sentences. An eagle flies high. My father works for 7 hours a day. Our neighbor bakes bread every Sunday. In these sentences, we can notice that the actions are repeated or not repeated in the case of number 3. Now, let's move to a quick explanation of the progressive form of the present tense. We use the progressive form to express ongoing actions. But what do I mean with an ongoing action? Let's analyze the diagram. Let's imagine that I started to work at 10 in the morning. Right now it is noon, and I will probably finish working at 4 p.m. So I started the action in the past. It is still in progress at present, and it will probably finish in the future. That is an ongoing action. So now let's see how to form the progressive form of the verbs. To form the progressive form of the verbs, we add ing to the end of the verbs. For example, the verb play, playing, fly, flying. But there is a special case when we double the last letter of the verbs. This is applied when the last syllable of a verb ends in consonant, vowel, consonant. For example, run, running, hug, hugging, cut, cutting, and so on. We also use the verb be to form the present progressive. We add the verb be as an auxiliary before the main verb in a sentence. Do not forget to use the correct form of the verb be to avoid mistakes with subject-verb agreement. Let's check the following sentences. My little sister is sleeping. The housewife is cleaning the kitchen. The athletes are running. Remember to pay attention to the subject to avoid mistakes when choosing the correct form of the auxiliary. Then just add the verb in the progressive form. But something else that is important to know is that the ing form of the verbs in grammar is called present participles. Now let's move to the next form of the present tense, which is the present perfect. We use the present perfect to indicate that something happens before another time or event. In other words, it helps us to say that we did something at some time in the past before something in the present, but we don't specify the exact time when we did that action. Check out the following example. I have already eaten. It means that I ate something at some moment in the past, but I am not specifying the exact moment. The present perfect focuses on an action or condition that occurred at some indefinite time in the past. In other words, to make it simple, the present perfect expresses past time. However, it receives this name because it takes the words have and has as auxiliaries. Use have with first, second, and third person plural subjects, and use has with third person singular subjects. Don't forget that to form the present perfect, we used past participle verbs. Check these sentences. They have bought 2 red cars. The host has prepared a show for the crowd. I have finished my project. Pay attention to the auxiliary and the form of the verb. They agree with the subject. To finish, we have the last form, which is the present perfect progressive. We use this form to express that an action that we started in the past is still in progress up to this moment. To form the present perfect progressive, we use have or has plus been plus the ing form of the verbs. Check this sentence. He has been sleeping for 2 hours. He has been working for 6 months. This form of the present tense helps us to express the duration of an event. So this was all for today's video. Remember that you will have a practice of this topic down in the description of the video. And if you find our content useful, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. See you next time.